Hi friends, Namaskar, good morning. Hope you're all doing well and you're doing positive in your life. I welcome you to once again to my PMS series talk and positive mental talks. I'm Pramankur, I'm an international motivation trainer and a keynote speaker. I'm really thankful to all my viewers who have shown their wonderful support and they have shared their invaluable comments that how they are really finding it interesting to listen to all these PMA talks and spiritual discussions. In fact, to take it further, I'm actually here to talk about yoga and the connection with spirituality. This day, we often hear that people talk about yoga as one of the unique power which can heal our life. So what is that secret lies in the yoga and why this Eastern concept has been accepted by the Western world and it is rapidly getting popularity all over the world, whether it is in the corporate boardroom or whether it's a medical practitioner, everybody is talking about yoga. And it has been seen that many such ailments which the modern medicine science cannot cure, the yoga can cure. So what exactly is lying behind the yoga? Is it just a myth or is there some kind of science which we can believe with our human mind and logic? So let us delve deeper into this topic of yoga today. And I'm sure if you listen to this video, you're going to get all these answers and you'll really be able to use this knowledge further in your life. So let's understand that how exactly the story of yoga started. If you really have to understand yoga, then we have to go back to the beginning of evolution. You all know that our life comes with the existence of energy. And when our earth was formed, there was a big bombardment of energy which has brought several particles and those particles further infused life. So how exactly this energy transformed? So in every source we find that some kind of energy is flowing. And since all living creatures are open system, it is quite normal that we are open to those energy fields. Every moment we are being exposed to different kind of energy fields. And these energy fields are influencing our life. And that is why you will see that many people talk about the planetary movements and their cycles which keep on influencing our life. There is a solid logic if you really try to understand that our life, which is always have different kind of actions and reactions, we always try to understand everything with the straight jacket of logic, but sometimes we fail to explain certain things which we term them as miracle. We often read in Vedas and Puranas that there were some ancient sages and some disciples who used to practice yoga. And that is why people in Eastern world has been always a die-hard believer of spirituality. But gradually in this world of globalization where we find that these boundaries are getting diminished with cultural changes, there people are accepting this yoga and spirituality. So which happens to be once a legacy for the Eastern world has been now globally and universally accepted. I feel really proud and privileged as an Indian to announce that this year in United Nations considering as the World Yoga Day, and our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, has already declared that he is going to declare India as one of the pioneers in yoga, and we already have a National Yoga Day. So I really appreciate this movement, and I must say this is definitely going to bring a sea change in our life. So my friends, if you really want to understand yoga, then let us understand first of all that why we should learn yoga. We all do certain behavior because of some reason, and this behavior are identity of ours. So if you are a teacher, you will teach. If you are an engineer, you will do your work as an engineer. If you are a doctor, you will work in the field of science. But who will do yoga? In ancient times, the saints and the sadhus are known for doing yoga. But in the modern world, since people understand the benefits of yoga, that it can bring a better change to your life, it can make you stay healthy, so we all do yoga. But before doing yoga, we must understand that it is not only about the meditation and the asanas, but it is something more which is hidden behind this yoga. Since we know that when the universe was created, there was an optimum amount of energy everywhere. So certain energies which was flowing at that time, this has highly influenced different living creatures. And if you really understand this yoga, you will see that it is just where you align your mind and body. So if you are basically going to gymnasium for building your muscles, you are basically trying to concentrate on building your muscles and making yourself fit, which involves some frequent and rigorous movement of body. But if you talk about yoga, which is a complete and holistic exercise, where you not only do exercise with your physical limbs, but you involve your mind and your breathing, and you as a total system practice this wonderful thing called yoga. The actual meaning of yoga is union, which means involving your inner self and external self. So if you talk about human beings are rather considered as emotional beings. So we ourselves actually get driven by our emotions, by our behavior, and that is why the yoga also has been classified into 5 different types. If you see yoga actually are of 5 different types. The first we know as hatha yoga. The second, which influences our behavior, that is called as karma yoga. And the third, which influences our emotional feeling, that is what we call as the bhakti yoga. And the fourth, which actually influences our way of activity and whatever we do in our daily life and how we exist, that is all about Raja Yoga. So all these 5 streams are basically considered as part of yoga. But why we should do yoga? And who should really look for yoga? That is an important question, because these days everybody is excited about doing yoga, and that's why you will see that everywhere in the city, whether in east or in west, many such institutions are mushrooming out. Many such gurus are available who claim that we can give you nirvana. But if you really want to attain yoga, first you should understand that how and why we should do that. So let me ask you that how many of you have really joined the yoga classes? Yes, you said that many of you have already joined. But do you know that why you are doing yoga? Because I often get complaint from my students and disciples who always keep on saying that it is really difficult to get up early in the morning, or it is really difficult to find time sometime in the day when I can do or practice yoga. So why exactly one should get motivated to do this yoga? Because it is not so easy to get in a winter morning to practice yoga. Maybe for the first few days you will be motivated by your new yoga pants and the new yoga mat, by your accessory, by your friends, but after some time it gradually loses its charm and you don't feel like joining the yoga classes. But once you know the real purpose, once you have the real motivation, I'm sure you'll be more charged up in doing this yoga. So as I said, that yoga is basically an alignment of your internal and external self, which makes you emotionally stronger, which helps you to develop and nourish your personality. You will really understand how it works in our human life. So, the first, why we should do yoga? You know that today in 21st century, where we are every time chasing a rat race, we are trying to make our life full of happiness and pleasure, right? And every time we are trying to make sure that we live a prosperous life. And that is perhaps why we are giving our best efforts from morning till night to ensure that our dear ones and us, we live a good life. And that is why we have to work harder so that we can have enough money to secure happiness for our life. But in reality, do you think that that is how we can secure happiness and peace? Not exactly. So that is why we have been always trying to search for the newer ways to attain the pleasure and happiness. From time immemorial, people have always strived to find the ways of living happy and a pleasurable life. And that is why we have different paths to that happiness and pleasure. Some people go to temple to get happiness, and in some time you will find people go to the bars, lounges, and also to some other places where they get happiness. Some people love to go for outing, some people love to hang out with their friends, some people go to different other institutions for getting the pleasure. But all are correct. It is how your intelligence motivates you to work. Some get happiness in temple, some get happiness in mosque, some get happiness even in some other places, but they are all correct. So this life is full of happiness and pain. If you see the world, you will see that there are dual possibilities. However, there are three energies. But as I said, the middle energy, which is called as Raja, which influences these two patterns. So if you see there is happiness, then there is also sorrow. If you see there is light, there is darkness. If you see that there is prosperity, then there are misery. So in everything you will find there is a dual combination. Like God has created man, so there is woman. So we always find a combination. And in order to balance that combination, we need a power, an energy, which can create a harmony. And that is why the yoga is there. Have you ever noticed that when the birds fly in the sky, they never fall down. They fly in a perfect momentum. And when you have ever seen in the dusk when the birds are flying back to their nest, they're all going in a particular pattern. How they do that? What is the science behind that? That is the energy field we are talking about. And that is how our life moves on. So when we see so much of disappointment around us, when we see so much of misery around us, and we fail to solve this problem with the different scientific explanations and the scientific practices, we turn towards this spirituality that is yoga. In fact, the yoga actually has come from an ancient concept called as Patanjali, which means that whenever you have questions, you actually have the Shankha. So if you have the Shankha, you try to solve it. And how do you solve it? You solve it with yoga. And why you do that? For that you have explanations given in Vedanta. So the ancient scriptures of Patanjali say that yoga is not only about doing few asanas and meditation and different body exercises, but it is also about the mind-body connection. So if you really are interested about doing yoga, you must learn that which and what particular yoga you should do. For doing yoga, always the morning times are best. But if you are really busy, you can even practice yoga in the evening whenever you are free and you have enough time to relax. So all these yogic powers, if you practice regularly, can take you to a mental peace and fitness. That's all for today, my friends. Hope you have really liked this video. If you want to have more such informative videos on yoga, I'll come back more with such informative videos for you. Till then, stay well. Thank you. Namaskar.
Hey
Guys, what are you waiting for? If you have still not subscribed me, subscribe my channel and get some more interesting video on positive lifestyle and hit the bell button so that you can watch some more interesting videos.